And what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. My name is Krisha, and this is today's Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis video. Now, all day today, guys, Sean has been so annoyed with me because I keep telling him that, oh, Sean, I think Bitcoin closed under monthly support, and he disagrees. Okay, so, and I've been trying to get him on the analysis so we both can sort of dissect the charts. That way you have both our opinions on it. But he's kind of just, you know, chilling, sitting back, playing his games because he had like 2 months of like really, really sweet, profitable trades. So this guy here is sitting flush and he's like, all right, guys, I'm relaxing. I'm not doing this. You know, give me a break. I'm just going to play DBD. For those of you who do not know what DBD is, it's like this really gory game. It's called Dead by Daylight. It makes me run out of the room every time it comes on the screen. It's crazy. Check it out. But getting back onto the charts, it's just going to be me today, okay? However, I'm going to give you his opinion on how Bitcoin closed relative to that monthly support that he is looking at, and I'll tell you what support I was looking at. Okay, now I'm going to start off with his because, I mean, you guys already know what I've been looking at. I've been eyeing that 11K region now for the longest time. Sean, however, he had actually marked a horizontal. Okay, I'm currently on the monthly chart, Bitcoin USD monthly on Bitstamp, and Sean actually marked a horizontal on these candle body closes here back in June 1st and July 1st. Okay, those are the 2 months, June and July. He put a line there and he's like, that is a support that Bitcoin needs to maintain if we're looking for a good bullish monthly close. And as things stand, guys, Bitcoin actually closed right over the monthly level that Sean was eyeing. Now, this is sitting at 10,790, give or take. And he thinks this is a really strong close as well. Price did get supported on that monthly region that he was looking at. Now, the region I was looking at, and I usually take the wicks into account when I plot my horizontals. It was this yellow line right here. And I know, like, on the chart, it looks so trivial, right? What's the difference? This was sitting at around 10,790. Mine was sitting at around 10,978 going up to that 11K region. Now, I'm just going to zoom into that. And guys, that's not much of a difference, okay? From what I was eyeing to what he was eyeing, that was a good 1.8%. Guys, 1.8% is nothing when you look at the kind of volatility that we've seen on Bitcoin's chart. I'm just going to fix my scale again, and coming back onto the chart, like, while the percentage difference is very, very trivial, okay, when you compare my level to Sean's level, I do believe that it is important, okay? It is important on what price does moving into the next month. Now, I personally think that Bitcoin didn't have a bad close. However, it did not have a close that would give us an immediate move to the upside. Okay, now when I was looking at 11K, I was looking at that 11K region. I was actually looking for, if price closed over, I would be expecting a move to the upside in the next coming weeks, possibly testing that 12K region. If we break, then going up to 14K. But my time horizon, okay, of my expectations was very immediate compared to Sean's. Now, Sean said that, hey, okay, you know what? We did get supported. We did get supported on that 10.7K region that I was eyeing, but I am only looking for Bitcoin to establish that next uptrend months from now. So his time horizon was different from mine. Albeit, my personal opinion is that I don't believe that Bitcoin closed badly at all. Okay, I still believe that the bulls are in control, very much in control. I am still extremely bullish on the Bitcoin chart. Okay, now I'm not going to harp on about Sean's opinions. I think I'm going to leave that for when he's ready to get back onto, well, these daily videos, and maybe we can have a discussion then. But now I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I think Bitcoin is likely to do from here, basically based on my opinion that we actually closed underneath support. Okay, I'm going to get rid of Sean's line right there. By the way, apologies if you hear any sort of disturbance behind me. I have Sean yelling in the other room because he's been killed in his game. I don't know what's going on, but just a heads up on that. Cool. Now let's get on to the weekly time frame, guys. I still believe that Bitcoin is very much in an uptrend there. And I'm going to fix my scale once again, put on that beautiful Ichimoku Cloud that I have been using very, very religiously. And I'm going to get rid of these nasty lines. Good Lord, Krisha, you are so messy. Jesus. Okay, and there we go. So as things stand right now, Bitcoin is in an uptrend. Okay, that cannot be refuted. I mean, we have a series of higher lows, all right? And we have been maintaining these series of higher lows ever since the coronavirus dump. I feel like now this can be a script and I can script it and I can sell the rights to it. I've just been repeating the same lines over and over again. However, getting back onto the charts, I do believe that Bitcoin is in a very tight range here. Okay, now this is what I'll be expecting. Let me just switch on my 10 SMA very quickly, and beautiful. I want you to notice how we're currently sandwiched between the 10 SMA and that Tenkin. And also we have been maintaining the Tenkin. Forget about not losing the 21. We have not even lost the Tenkin yet. All right, so that is clearly an important level that Bitcoin is trying to respect. The bulls have been trying to push price up enough to respect that Tenkin. Of course, now the Tenkin, mathematically, there is an equation behind it. It is to a moving average of sorts, albeit calculated differently. Now, Sean is going to be covering an Ichimoku module very soon for those of you in the Mango Seed program, so heads up on that. But right now, what I'm seeing is that the bulls are trying to defend certain levels on this chart. Now, I do believe the most immediate sort of sandwich that Bitcoin is currently in is between that 10 SMA going all the way down to that Tenkin. So I will not be surprised if Bitcoin actually makes its way up to test the 10 SMA. Okay, but I will be looking for consolidation getting into the next month of November, getting also into election time. Now note that this is a bullish trend, and if the Tenkin moves up as steeply as it is right now, it's a very, very steep slope that we have there, and price does manage to maintain it as support, I won't be surprised if we start breaking that to the upside, possibly even getting up to the weekly cloud resistance. All right, now this is sitting at 11,300, give or take. As soon as we break that, ooh la la, I will be looking for further continuation to the upside. But notice that this is an if this, then that. As things stand right now, Bitcoin is still currently within a support resistance sandwich. Okay, the 10 SMA being the topmost resistance and the bottom being the Tenkin. Now, I will be expecting a trudge to the 10 SMA now, so we'll watch out for how price reacts off the 10. Depending on where we close relative to that 10 SMA getting to the next week, that will paint a better picture on whether or not Bitcoin wants to trudge up further or we still are looking to consolidate within the range. If we close under, I'm saying that further consolidation. If we close above, then I'm saying we're likely to see another move to the upside. Okay, now this is what's going on the weekly time frame. I think it's a decent picture. What I do not want to see, okay, if the bulls have to maintain the uptrend, is for us to maintain this wick low right here. If we lose this to the downside, guys, Bitcoin is going down further, with the first point of support getting in at 9.5K, and if we lose that, then we're coming all the way to the bottom of the cloud at 8.5K. Okay, but remember, now for those of you in the Mango Seed program, you know how we do it. It's all hypothesis. Before you get into a trade, you need to have your hypothesis in place. That way, you know, you have an invalidation point, because it is that invalidation point that will let you know whether or not the trade is going in your favor. It is going to prevent you, okay, from hanging on to losing trades. All right, it's what's going to keep your biases in check. So, and this is not just for the seed members, for everyone. Make sure you have an invalidation point in each and every one of your trades. Okay, this is very basic. But now let's quickly get onto the 4-hour time frame and see what Bitcoin is up to on those lower time frames. And so far, it's kind of been really, really choppy, okay, off of its cloud levels, as well as the EMAs, the SMAs. Hell, I'm going to go ahead and put on my 200 simple moving average, the one that we were looking at. Now, yesterday when I covered Bitcoin, we were actually sitting under like a cluster of resistance, which was the Tenkin, the 10 SMA, the 200 simple moving average, the 21, as well as the 10 SMA. And not just that, we had a bearish crossover setup on the 10 and the 21, right? But as things stand right now, just last night, in fact, as soon as I actually published my video, few 4-hour candles later, we actually had this candle that came up, taking out the entire cluster of resistance and closing above it, right? And then we had this. So it's been very chippy choppy on like key levels. Okay, so be careful for those of you who are playing those lower time frames. You don't want to be getting too chopped up. I noticed that in times of consolidation, I think scalpers are the ones who profit the most, but I find scalping extremely stressful, and we're not about that stressful life. We do it the mango way. Everything is very mango. Everything is very stress-free. And also, there is not a lot of trade management when you're looking at catching the massive ranges that I usually look to catch personally. And that's one reason why I don't usually play the 4-hour time frame. But as things stand right now, I do believe Bitcoin is sitting above, well, all its regions of support. Now, from resistance back here, it became support. We have Tenkin, we have the 10 SMA, the 21 EMA, which also has a bullish crossover set up now. Okay, so that crossed bullish once again. And then on top of that, we are also sitting above the 200 simple moving average. Now, yesterday I showed you this bearish head and and shoulders pattern that someone brought to my attention. I do believe that it had the right psychology to it. It had the right volume to it. But I want you to notice what happened here. And this is why I always sort of emphasize the point, do not play a pattern before the break. Because if that break does not come, this pattern is not a pattern, okay? It's that break that actually establishes that pattern. It's what activates the pattern. All right, now what do we see here? We actually saw this sort of shoulder, if you want to call it now, come all the way up to the neckline, come all the way down to the neckline, and we got picked up very, very swiftly, only to close over that cluster of resistance. Okay, so, and that's why be careful, don't front run the pattern, okay? Especially if that is all you're playing. If that is all you're playing, it's not good enough. Pair it up with something, have invalidation points, have other regions of support and resistance that you play off of. Now, as things stand, that one got negated. This entire head and shoulders that I proposed to you got invalidated. All right. What I'm seeing right now is that Bitcoin was putting in the series of, well, higher lows and lower highs. And that sort of gave me a tip off on a possible symmetrical triangle, but I'm going to go ahead and put on my volume notes to see if there's confirmation on that. And there's no confirmation yet. Okay, I don't believe that this is confirmation enough, so we may very well still oscillate within this range. So be careful. What I'll be looking for is for Bitcoin to hold the overall bullish uptrend. Yes, we are still in a 4-hour uptrend. For as long as we're maintaining these 4-hour higher lows, we are still very much in an uptrend. Okay, so I will be expecting this to hold for as long as we're holding the trend. And if this has to break, I'll be looking for Bitcoin to take out... where is this? This wick low right here. And these wick lows right here. Now this one right here is sitting at 10,628. The lowest one right here is sitting at around 10,658. Okay, so not much of a difference there, but that's what I'll be watching out for. If we take that out to the downside, I will be expecting continuation to the downside, possibly coming and testing this region right here, okay, which is also the breakout point. This is sitting at around 10.5K. If we lose 10.5K, my friends, I do believe that Bitcoin is coming down to 10.4K. All right, now this is what's going on in Bitcoin USD on that 4-hour time frame. But so far, guys, the trend, that bullish macro trend, is still intact. All right, I personally am still bullish on the chart. So let's quickly get on to ETH. We'll do a macro analysis on ETH very, very quickly, cover the basics. We closed a monthly on Ethereum as well. And how did we close? We closed really well. Now, this was the one thing I sort of brought to your attention the last time around, wherein there was like this double bottom formation that was, that actually played out. Yes, we actually broke, and as things stand, it appears we got a retest. Now, question is, where do we go from here, right? So this was the double bottom play. This right here was the neckline. It was actually a range, so it's 290 going all the way up to... I'm gonna mark one more right around these wicks here. I usually really like taking the wicks into account when I'm looking at necklines and measured moves, okay? So that is the range, and the upper threshold of the range is sitting at 322. And as things stand right now, if I just zoom into price action, we managed to maintain that as support. So Ethereum closed way over it, okay? Completely clear of that support region. And not just that, if I just kind of get rid of this nasty line here, I want you to notice this monthly chart now. If you just have to look at the candlesticks. Okay, now for those of you in the Mango Seed program, you guys have been through the candlestick analysis module. Well, it's one of the first ones, so I'm assuming that many of you already have. And what are we seeing here? Okay, we're seeing a series. I want you to notice the wicks on this. It is an uptrend on the monthly. Okay, we have been maintaining that monthly uptrend. We are seeing those higher lows on the monthly time frame. And while I don't usually sort of go over the wicks on other time frames, I do believe that the monthly is important because each candle, guys, is a good 30 to 31 days. Okay, so the wicks on these candles actually mean something. So we put in a higher low here, and we also put in a higher high on the monthly. I do believe that while Ethereum has managed to hold its uptrend, I find that the bears are still have a bit of the momentum on their side right now, okay? Because I noticed that this monthly candle, yes, fine, we did put in that higher high, higher low, okay, we're maintaining that uptrend, great. But now this candle is going to be very pivotal. I want to see the bulls actually step up their game, because what I noticed here, okay, is that the first week of this monthly candle, the bulls used their momentum that they managed to build up throughout this entire range here, okay, getting up to that $400 region. They managed to use that initial momentum to actually get in the higher high there. And this last month, the month of September, they just about managed to actually defend that low. Okay, so if you really have to break down this candle, it appears that the bears had a bit of the edge and the bulls were struggling. Now, this candle of October is going to be pivotal for the bulls. We want to see them actually maintain that higher low. What I'll be looking for right now is for the bulls to actually push it up, at the very least, to that $384 region, which is that monthly resistance that we're looking at. However, if they fail to do that, I do believe that the bears are going to get the edge here. Okay, so we want to see the bulls actually, build up that momentum on their side, because if they fail to do that, we may very well see price actually make its way down to some of its monthly levels, giving it a test. However, giving these levels a test will mean us actually losing that weekly uptrend. Okay, now that's not something that we want to see if we're looking for it to actually test higher levels even on the monthly time frame. Right now, I do believe that this candle was dominated by the bears for the most part. The bulls just barely managed to actually, set in that higher low there, to defend that higher low. And I think that's quite evident on the weekly time frame. Now, if you just get onto the weekly, you'll notice that this was the beginning, that this was the first week of September, this was the last week of September, and I just want you to notice these candles here. They were extremely bearish, right? So that's what I mean. The bulls basically managed to take that momentum that they built up, push it all the way up, only for us to get like hardcore rejected. And we have been getting rejected ever since on that $390 region. Now, Ethereum is still using it as resistance overhead, and you can see that the 10 SMA has come, right on top of it. Now, if the bulls manage to take out that 10 SMA to the upside, if we start closing candles over that, I do believe that at that point they will start building that momentum, that much needed momentum that the bulls need to actually maintain the uptrend. Okay, so if we take out the 10 SMA, I think that the bulls are in the clear. However, if we start getting rejected off of it once again, okay, we see a rejection, I will be looking for continuation to the downside, possibly coming all the way down to 322 once again. What I'll be looking for, like I said, at the very least from the bulls, is for price to maintain the higher low structure. Okay, that is going to be key for the bulls. So watch out for that, but I do believe from all of the levels here, okay, in terms of support that we have underneath us, the most important one is going to come in at 310, okay? And why is that? Because if you just zoom out of this chart, and if you look at 310, which comes up right about here, okay, now this was that breakout point for Ethereum. Now, we were living under this region for 2 years, okay? Since 2018, all the way up to July of 2020, okay, almost 2 years, we were living under that region of resistance. And it was only recently that price actually managed to take it out to the upside. Okay, we were trending and consolidating under that region, so this is going to be important. We want to see Ethereum maintain this region as support. And yeah, this sums up our macro analysis on Ethereum. You have my thoughts on Bitcoin, and let me know what your thoughts are on Bitcoin's monthly close. I'm very curious as to what people's predictions are, forecasts, analysis, irrespective of what you use. I want to know your thoughts, your sentiments on what Bitcoin is likely going to do from here. So let me know in the comment section below of what you guys think on September's monthly close. And yeah, with this, guys, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao.